What I think is happening in the industry is that chemical engineers normally think about scale up and how to make things larger and produce more. But something that happened probably in the past few years maybe or even recently is that that also is important, but some other aspects of it is coming into the picture. So it's not that you're not have to produce more and look at the dollar, but also you're looking at what impact it has. And so the scale up of the aspect of the chemical engineering, it's playing a role, but not as much. That's my feeling that's happening in the industry. And that can help us to think out of the box, if you will, because now that opens up some other venue for, well, okay, this is something that has more impact, so let's think about smaller scale and help improve lives, right? So that's something that I feel it's going to come to the picture. I'm thinking that as for society, they feel more responsible, and in the industry-wide, I think the new chemEs or chemical engineers that's been graduating, I have a feeling that they feel more free to share their knowledge, and that's good. That's in many ways it's very good because they don't feel that barrier, and so it will help with more collaboration. At the same time, what I feel is happening is that the new chemical engineers, what's happening is that they are trying to be a little bit more focused, and that's, in my opinion, is good and bad. In a sense, it's good because you can get job done better and easier, but at the same time, you may be getting so more focused and you may miss something. So I think at some point there will be a balance between how much you have a global knowledge of things and also what is the focus in your area. And that will probably shape how we interact with each other and how we do our job. That's kind of what I feel is happening. I think that chemical engineers, or maybe in general engineers, are feeling more closer to the society, and that has impact on their view of how that can work through making lives better in many ways. You can see that, like different people thought about it, and if some disaster happened, you all feel that, what can I do to make it better? And that gives you some opportunity, although it's not a good one, but it gives you some opportunity to rethink and see what should have done to make it better. So that's one. And I think the other aspect of the hot topics is that you see that we are not, we are in contact probably with the consumers as much that we were not before. So you can see the impact of what your research is. You can see that in bio, which is very hot topic now. And I was talking to someone said, "Oh, I'm working on biosensors." Thinking, "Oh wow, that's a chemical engineering working on a biosensor. That's pretty cool." And you basically have almost an impact on people's lives versus, okay, I'm trying to make energy better. Yeah, that's down the road, but you can feel more close to what's happening in the world. I think that's really hot that people are thinking that way, and the chemical engineers, or maybe in general engineers, are getting more toward what's happening closer to the people. I think the way that we have, at least in the industry that I am in, we are looking into going a little bit into more fundamentals. Because we are trying to go to that last point percentage, right? So we are developing more and more answers to the questions that's out there. And so that is, my feeling is that, and because of the computers help us doing that. So understanding better and making sure that we are really being as efficient as possible. which has always been the case, right? It's not that you're not, but most of the time you just say, okay, I can do this. And the good news is that because it's getting more global, the whole thing is moving all global. And so you can see that some people who have different cultures, they can also contribute. And so that helps you to think differently. And once that is happening, you can go deep into, let me see what I can get out of this, rather than this is good enough. It's probably pushing, it's more pushing. And I think in the future it's going to be the case. You're not going to be satisfied with just where you are, because the competition is more, and that helps us to improve better. And I see that as a very positive thing. My advice to the new generation, if they're listening, I guess, is that stay involved as much as possible. And as I mentioned, that sometimes we want to just be focused on what we have, but there's so many occasions that you are attending something that has nothing to do with what you're doing or what your job is, but it can give you ideas that you can apply. It doesn't have to be fundamental. It could be something totally different, but it can help you to understand, because you will be forced to understand what's going on, and that can help you with what you're doing now. So don't think that, oh, I need to get this done and that's the best way and let me get the answer. Sometimes it's good to just see randomly what's out there, and I think that will help for all of us to move and help each other. I think the difference between AIChE meetings and the ones that are very focused on what you're interested is that this gives you the freedom to pay one attendance fee and attend different subjects. And those different subjects doesn't necessarily have to be what you are. The poster session, when you come in, you may see something, yeah, let me just go and stay a little bit curious about what's happening now and talk to someone, and that can help you understand. And I think the other, advice is that don't be afraid to ask, right? And not even like in general, right? If you look at people, they have ribbons out there and said blah blah blah, right? Just go and ask, what does that mean, right? What does it mean? What is it? What is it that you're doing? And just be interested in all of that. So that also helps to grow you personally and also in your technical aspects. So yeah, definitely the answer is that you have a group of people, different ideas, and they merge together in a one week, and you can get and use it. Not maybe today, not maybe tomorrow, but it will give you some ideas. And we are all about new ideas, right?